April 16th, 2013 to order, please. Roll call.
Johnny Blunt.
Here.
Jason Hood.
Here.
Bobby Martin.
Here.
Lamar Marshall.
Here.
Mike Williams.
Here. The first and only item under public hearing is Ms. Geraldine Johnson wants to discuss some concerns regarding Lincoln Park. Ms. Geraldine, if you'd like to come up to the podium, please, ma'am. Ms. Geraldine, before you get started, please give us your address for the record, please.
2702 Allison Street.
All right, Ms. Geraldine, what do you have for us, ma'am?
I have a whole lot, but I'm going to let my daughter, because I got a problem with my voice
Yes,
right now. So I'm just going to let her introduce herself in my behalf, and I'll just be honest.
Okay. Would you like to come up, please, ma'am?
Ms. Jenny, why don't you just sit right up here if you want to.
Would you give us your name?
Good afternoon.
And
My
address,
name is
please?
Wendy Smith. Wendy, W-E-N-D-Y, Smith.
And your address, Ms. Smith?
1453-9 West David Drive.
Okay. What we got going on, Ms. Smith?
Well, there's a couple of issues that we're having. We have drug issues. We have a new drug that's introducing that I have been going street to street to find out. The new drug is Hammond. A lot of transportation issues that people cannot get out of Lincoln Park. We have a lot of poverty issues. A lot of teen parents that are not receiving the services that they need. So in that, the Fired Up Ministry has started up a community health fair, a community awareness, and what we need from the community is to partnership with us to bring awareness of the free services that the city of Hammond provides for them. A lot of people in Lincoln Park do not have accessibility to get out of Lincoln Park, so therefore we want to bring the services to Lincoln Park and provide applications, free screenings, and those things like that, fire safety, police safety, and to make the policeman, instead of having a characteristic of being the bad guy, we want to make it a friendly interaction with the community. What we thought of, our goal is to make all ages, especially the youth, because the summer is coming up, aware of the free services that you all have, and also provide transportation, provide help with applications, because trust me, the dropout issue is like 15%. All the high school, it's like 5% that are attending high school. I got out and did the work. So I want the city of Hammond to help us on May 25th. We're having a community awareness fair. We have 15 organizations that already committed to come to Lincoln Park Baptist Church. They're going to provide application service, mental health service, youth builders services. They're going to provide financial services. They're going to provide services for our elderly. They're going to provide services also to 0 to 5. You have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. We also want to also provide free services, like get the youth services involved, the Hammond Recreations involved. TADAC is going to come out and provide free screenings for us. So we need Hammond to provide whatever resources that they can provide, via transportation resources, via applications, someone out there to help these people to fill out applications, provide interesting information for you that are free, because this is a poverty area. Okay. Any questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mr. President, can I make a couple comments? Sure. On that, if you don't mind? You know, obviously, Lincoln Park is in my district, and Wendy and Mrs. Wendy Smith and Mrs. Geraldine Johnson, I've been talking with them about some of the concerns that they have, and I know it's hard to put our arms around the real problems that we have in that particular area of the city, but I'll try to I'll try to maybe just add a couple of comments on what Wendy was saying. I think what I get from the whole concept is that I think we're focusing on the children, if not mistaken. We know we have lots of challenges in that area. It's a high poverty area. We know that, but there are lots of kids in that area that really kind of, in a lot of cases, have no access to anything at all because, one, there's no community engagement. There's no green space at all available. You can't really walk to a park because there's no park in walking distance. It's surrounded by two major streets, Morrison and Thomas, which is really, a kid can't travel across those streets. It's not anybody's fault. It is what it is. And I think the real question is, how do we then figure out a way where we can use the city's resources to maybe support their initiatives in Lincoln Park so that we can ultimately change the dynamics of how the park really lives. And I applaud you and I applaud Ms. Geraldine for your effort in trying to make this make a difference, because it's a huge task. But we have to start somewhere. So I just think coming to the City Council and making more people aware of what's going on in Lincoln Park, hopefully that sparks some type of conversation that ultimately leads to some support that we need to get some things done. And I think that, I don't know where we go from here with it, but I think it should be some dialogue that we have on what we can do with creating a more proactive police presence in Lincoln Park.
Yes.
Maybe those are some things we should discuss when we go into council, when we have our sessions in the near future. How do we get fire and safety training in Lincoln Park? Is that something that we do on a regular? Can we do that? So maybe we can sit down as a group, council people, councilmen, and really help the citizens out in an area where they're struggling to make things better for their community.
Okay, that's it?
That's what I have. That's my comments.
Any other comments, questions for Ms. Smith? Ms. Smith, thank you.
You're welcome.
We are going to, I talked to the coach. We have a relatively short agenda, so we're going to wait to have our reception at the end and give these young ladies a little lesson in city government tonight. So, we're going to move right into our regular scheduled meeting for April 16, 2013. Roll call, please.
Johnny Blunt.
Here.
Jason Hood.
Here.
Bobby Martin.
Here.
Lamar Marshall.
Here.
Mike Williams.
Here. All right. Mr. Vic, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Good evening, Almighty God, our Creator, the author of our life. Oh God, we thank you for this opportunity to gather together tonight to see so many of our citizens here, the young and the old, who all come with the intention of doing good. God, we know that despite all the good things in the world, there is also evil, including the evil that occurred in one of our sister cities, Boston, yesterday.
Yes.
I think it appropriate to pause for a few seconds and contemplate in our hearts with the people of that city are suffering. Even as we express our sympathies and care for our sisters and the other parts, brothers in the other parts of the country, we thank you that you have kept our city safe to this point, and we ask that you continue to put your protective arms around all of us. We thank you for the good people that serve us in so many ways, the firemen, the policemen, the emergency caregivers, and those who have put themselves in a position to be elected as leaders of our people. Through the Holy Spirit, we ask that you give them wisdom to make the proper decisions and to continue to give them the good hearts to reach out to the citizens in need. Those are the ones that we know you care most for. Thank you for all the great things about our nation, despite the terror that sometimes strikes us. We ask that you continue to protect us against enemies, both foreign and domestic. As we pray in the name of the one who saves us, amen.
Amen. Would the girls from the St. Thomas State Championship basketball team lead us in pledge, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, girls. Do we have any council reports? Okay. Mayor, do you have a report for us, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. I do have just a couple of things. Number one is I would like to call the council and the public's attention to the Household Hazardous Waste Cycling Day. We do this twice a year, and on this semi-annual period, it will be on Saturday, May 4th, 2013 at Z. Murray Park. You have a flyer as to what will be accepted and what will not be accepted, but generally all materials will be accepted other than extremely dangerous material. I think you probably have heard that we did win the District Cleanest City contest. The Cleanest City judging for the state will be on Friday, May 10th. So I would like to ask the council members, if they would, to check their calendars. The judges will be here at approximately 1 o'clock. Judge for probably about an hour. They'll probably be back in the city council chambers about 1:45, 1:50. So if you would like to come meet the judges, I would encourage you to do that. One other report that I have is that, and we're going to have a longer report on this. As you can see, we have some new equipment here. Sammy Richmond and Clint Cotton are responsible for the development of this equipment. Sammy, I don't know if you wanted to say anything about this equipment at this point in time, but I do know that we're going to have a presentation at a later meeting to show everything that this equipment does. If you're looking on streaming, which I don't think you're able to do at this meeting,
not this meeting.
You will be able to see a much better picture. And if you looked at it before, it was about that big. Now, as Sammy was showing me, it's going to be a half-screen picture. So it's really cool, and we thank him for working on that initiative, along with the grant that came to help us get this equipment. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Vick?
Can I have 1 minute to add to the mayor's report? The Keep Hammond Beautiful Committee is going to hold an afternoon cleanup on Wednesday, May the 10th, 2 days before the judgment, 4:30 to 6:30. On Wednesday, 4:30 to 6:30. We're going to meet right behind here in this lot. If any of you would like to come, but above all, get your constituents to volunteer to come help us.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Vick. Okay. Approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Johnny Blunt.
Aye.
Jason Hood.
Aye.
Bobby Martin.
Aye.
Lamar Marshall.
Aye.
Mike Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried. Approved.
New business resolutions. Number 1, a resolution authorizing the purchase and underground installation of fiber optic cable from City Hall to the Central Fire Station and new police department from Hunt Telecommunications as the lowest bidder in the amount of $35,000. Sam.
What this is we are installing fiber optic cable to, or want to install fiber optic cable to the new police department building, and we're going to bury it underground. It'll give us, we kind of need it for the communications, and also grouped into that, we'll run it next to the Central Fire Station, so they'll have an upgraded connection over there also. Right now, we're currently ordering a T1 line from Hunt Telecommunications, which is very slow for the Central Fire Station. So this will give them a huge speed increase, and it will provide more resilient communications for both departments. And planned is actually a second addition to this next year, where we'll complete a ring. So you'll see me again asking for that when we get there, but that'll provide full redundancy. So in case of a fiber break, both would retain their communications.
Mayor, is this coming out of the police's budget? The police department?
It's half of it is coming out of the fire department's budget, and half is coming out of police. They're splitting it.
Do we have fiber to the building, department building?
We do.
Okay.
It's above ground. It's on telephone poles.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, it's a pleasure of the council.
So moved. Second.
Johnny Blunt.
Aye.
Jason Hood.
Aye.
Bobby Martin.
Aye.
Lamar Marshall.
Aye.
Mike Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried. Approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 2, a resolution authorizing the mayor or the director of administration to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the city of Hammond and the Hammond Area Recreation District 1.
Thank you, Mr. President. You have a copy of the resolution that's either in your books. I think it is hyperlinked. This is an agreement that we have negotiated between the district and the city, and the administration recommends approval.
And Mayor, this is strictly to keep everything straight. This isn't money as far as exchange of money and so forth. This is simply for the use of the facilities for Hammond programs, correct?
What it does, Mr. President, it is for the use of the facility, and it outlines particularly in number 1 there. We have had meetings with the district. It outlines how the participants will pay a fee for the use of the facilities. Those fees will be negotiated between the recreation district and the city based on what programs we have and what facilities we're going to be using. It also covers the insurance requirements that we have, that we're to cover our part of the programs. The district will cover their part of the district itself. It also provides for the expenses that the district is responsible for paying the expenses of the district. The city is responsible for paying for the operational costs of the programming itself.
Any questions?
Mr. President, I would like to make a comment because I know that you had a little something to do with that park, and I know that Mr. Dwayne Schaefer is in the audience, who's also a member of your commission. And I've been out there several times. Strawberry Cup over the past 2 weekends, I believe by all indications, was a huge success. Spoke to a lot of customers in my business who were very impressed with the facility, compared it to nothing they've seen anywhere in the state. So I just want to commend you and Dwayne and the rest of your commission. I know that the last 2 weekends for my business have been good. I've heard that the number of hotel nights for Strawberry Cup were up significantly, and I think it's just going to keep getting better and better. And I know that other businesses around were busy, other restaurants were extremely busy. Even La Coretta had some soccer teams there, so it's got a far-reaching effect. So I think that over the next,
thank you.
It's a huge accomplishment.
Any other questions or comments?
Motion to approve.
Vote, please.
Johnny Blunt.
Aye.
Jason Hood.
Aye.
Bobby Martin.
Aye.
Lamar Marshall.
Aye.
Mike Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried, approved.
Okay, item 3, a resolution authorizing the mayor or director of administration to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between the city of Hammond and Willie B. and Lynn B. Community Youth Center for the use of Michael J. Kinney Center for the purpose of providing an educational and fitness program. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. President, I'm not Darrell Smith,
yes,
but
sir.
He is here tonight. We were approached by this group called the Willie B. and Lynn B. Community Youth Center. We did investigate the group. It is a recognized 501c3 organization. The group actually came to Monroe and to Darrell to talk about the program. They then came to my office. We had a meeting in my office with Monroe and Darrell, 2 members of the committee that were interested in providing a program in the summer. This program brought great attention to my office, and we had several questions about it. We met again, and they did present a total package to us where this will be an academic program providing reading, math, computer lab, and arts and crafts in terms of education, and it will provide a fitness program including physical education as well as a nutrition program for the participants. They have come to us and asked for the use of the center in 4 different sessions to be run May 28th through July 26th. They did give us a list of the teachers that would be involved, and all of the teachers that are involved in this program are certified teachers. They have asked for participation of the city. We do believe that a participation from the city, and actually they were not asking for money up front, they were asking for any funding shortage that they might have. After talking with them about this particular area of financing, it was agreed that we're recommending that the city of Hammond provide up to $7,500 at the back end to support the program if it was needed, if they're not able to raise all of the funding that they need. Darrell is here. We do have Miss April Simmons here, who is actually going to be in charge of the program. I'm very impressed with Ms. Simmons, and I would like to ask her to come forward at this time, if I may.
Sure.
April?
Good afternoon, Ms. Simmons. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. My name is April Simmons. I'm new to the area, but I've been working in the field of children for over 15 years, not here in the Hammond area, but in Georgia and Illinois. My main focus is the kids during the summertime. A lot of y'all don't know me. You need a proven track record. I do understand that, but I have been going to meetings with United Way, Track Correlation, Crime Stoppers since I've been here, once a month, and listening to the things that they have been saying, especially during the summertime when I did come, how they say the crime rate went up during the summer when they had people here visiting, how kids go out and rob them. And the reason that is because there's not a lot of programs out here to give the kids a place to go during that time. This program right here would do that. As he said, yes, I have teachers that are willing to not just come in and work, but help do the fundraising that is needed, will basically take a cut pay in this to make sure that we can get the funding that is necessary to run this. No, I'm not asking y'all to fund this in the front. What I'm asking you to do is give me and the community and the parents that are interested in doing this program with me a chance to do all the fundraising that we can. And we also do charge. But for parents, I know that the poverty rate here is high. I do understand that. For parents that have more than one child, we're asking their parents to come out, help do fundraiser, do anything to get your child in there. When they do that fundraiser, that money that we make is like a scholarship going towards their child participating in this program. This program could be a pilot. There's a lot of programs that's going on right now, understandable. But just one program is not just needed in Hammond. There are many, many, many more programs that we need. And that's what we need to focus on. How many programs, good programs, can we get here to keep our kids off the street, keep their mind active, keep them fitness, eating breakfast and lunch, and have a safe environment around them. So this is why I'm coming to the City Council for this, because I believe in my heart this is a good program. I'm here for the kids. I volunteer my time on a daily basis, not only at the Hammond Recreational Center. I am also a volunteer at CASA. I work with Judge Edwards with kids that's in the system. We have kids, a lot of kids in the system that really don't need to be in the system. What can we do to not have the numbers go up? And the only thing we can do is give them a safe place, a positive place to be, to learn. We're gonna have behavioral skills also. I have a therapist that's gonna come in and talk with the kids. I have teachers, like the mayor said, that are certified. I'm not just asking people to just say, you don't have the qualification. What makes us have a qualification? The love for kids, or if I got a degree in education? I've been working with kids from the Boys and Girls Club to the Beaufort Youth Center in Georgia since I can remember. I have volunteered my time not only within sports, which is a good way to attract kids, but not the only way. I've been working with them in Georgia. I'm trying to do the same thing here. I volunteer my time at the Hammond Recreational Center. I not only taught my kids to play basketball, the fundamental, I required a certain thing from my children, and that is I needed to know how you was doing in school, because you can't do sports without an education. They go hand in hand. There's not one above the other. And this is my passion, is working with kids. This is not going to stop me from here. I'm going to continue trying to get out there and reach into the community and reach into the kids and getting them involved in positive things. This is just the beginning, but we can use this along with other programs as a platform to see what difference does it really make. Is there a difference? If we can save and change one child, that should matter. Just one, it just takes one child, but it also takes a community to do that, and we need that opportunity to do it. Excuse me for getting emotional, but this is my love, is children, and I think this will be a positive thing for the community as a whole.
April, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President, sorry.
Yes.
How many children do you anticipate enrolling, or how many, let me rephrase it, how many do you need to enroll to be viable?
To be, I would like to see
viable.
between 75 to 100 kids.
Per session, or?
It's for the whole, the session is broken down for, if parents didn't enroll right when my deadline came in, they could come in and enroll later. I don't want to close the door on any child that I can get in.
So the program's 8 weeks long?
Yes, sir. Okay. It's for the whole summer.
And what are the hours, the daily hours?
Our hour starts at 8 o'clock, where they would come in and eat their breakfast, and from breakfast they would start rotating to their classes that we have set up, and they would leave at 4.
And you're providing breakfast and lunch for the
breakfast
children?
And lunch, yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions? Mr. Powell?
Well, this program sounds really good, and I really welcome you to the City of Hammond to offer your expertise. We love children here as well, and we will be willing to assist you and monitor to make sure that things go according to what you say.
Yes, sir.
And what we believe. And I thank the mayor for stepping up to give you the opportunity to prove that you can do it here.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I'd like
Yes,
to make
sir.
a comment.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Lemon, you think I don't know you, but you coach my granddaughter. But she one tough little cookie, I tell you what, you got her attention. She don't want to be late for basketball practice. But my granddaughter and one of my little church members, they talk about you all the time.
Thank you, sir.
So you is touching for the kids.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah. Mr. President, I have a few questions, and I just want to start off by saying, April, I applaud you for your commitment to the youth. And I have a lot of questions, and I hope it this doesn't take too long, but I do want to cover a few things because I'm not on board, to be honest with you, right off the bat, because I have a lot of concerns about what we're doing with the recreation center. And I asked the mayor to meet to talk about it, and we didn't get a chance to meet. He wasn't available, I guess, because he didn't return my call on my email. So I'm gonna have to use this time today to talk about it because we missed the window to kind of really hash out some of the concerns. I did have a chance to talk to the director of the recreation department, Monroe Jones, and he had some concerns about the program as well. And so I want to reach out to the mayor to talk about that, but we missed it. A couple of major things I have is one, and I'll make this comment. If we take a public facility and we make it into a private enterprise, it takes away the opportunity for all of the citizens to utilize the facility for the entire summer. An example, Hammond Recreation Center is the only place where we have indoor basketball in the city. It's a public facility. What that means is, and by the way, let me ask one question before I say that. Is there going to be a charge for the kids?
Yes, sir.
And what's that charge going to be?
That charge is at $150, but there again, like I said.
So that would be like $25 a week?
Almost, yes.
Okay. So, and I looked at that as well, and I said, and we talked about the high level of poverty in Hammond.
Yes.
Where almost 42% of our children live in poverty.
Yes.
Chances are that the parents that we're trying to reach, in the case based on what you were talking about, fall into that area of poverty, so their parents or parent may be in a category of about $14,000 a year. Just kind of give you an idea what that means.
Okay.
So for a parent who lives in poverty, to get to the facility and pay $25 a week, that would be like a parent who makes $100,000 paying $195 a week for a camp. So it would be close to 10% of your net earnings a week to come to the camp. If you have 2 children, that would be 20%. So chances are the people that we're going to try to reach aren't going to be reachable because they're not going to be able to afford to pay for the camp. That's one thing. Along with that, the kids who live in poverty who don't have access to get to the park out on Airport Road where we have basketball courts or an indoor court somewhere else are going to be left out. So they're going to spend the entire summer again in the city of Hammond looking from the outside in at people who are in the facility playing and having fun when these kids who are on the outside that can't afford to pay $25 a week because their parents don't have the money are going to be left out once again. So I really have a problem with us using a public facility for 2 reasons. One, first of all, I have a problem with us using a public facility to allow a private business to make money, to make a profit, because I'm assuming there's a profit goal in there for you.
No, it's not.
So you're
I'm not in this, let me clarify something. I'm not in this to make a profit. That's not my goal for this. My goal is to make sure that with the teachers that I have on board, and I'm still talking to other teachers for backup, with the teachers that I have on board that are willing to take a pay cut for the summertime, the profit that will be made will be paying for the facility, to facilitate the teachers that's in there. It is not to make a profit for Willie B. Community Youth Center to walk off with anything.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. I ran some numbers myself. So assuming you had 100 participants at $25, and I'm assuming that you're going to pay the teachers, the certified teachers that typically make $25 an hour, but if they're going to work for less, let's say they work for 15, and if the city gives you $937.50 a week, that's the portion that they're going to give after the fact, and you make $2,500 in revenue from the participants, your cost to just pay, if you pay the teacher $15 an hour, you'd be at a negative from the very beginning. I don't know if you saw that or not. Now, you know, you came by my office prior to the meeting and you asked me some questions because you had some concerns about the program. And I thought you brought LaShawna with you when you guys came by. And I gave you some advice on you know, some of the things that you asked me about. And we talked about the costs. And, you know, and we looked at that and said, you know, it's probably a losing proposition from a revenue perspective because we have to, you know, we're going to be upside down from the very beginning. And I really have a lot of concerns about that piece. I think there's a lot of questions to still be answered, Mr. Mayor. And I really am surprised that we're putting this program in place before we even really look at the real numbers. The other problem I have is that why are we using a recreation facility for an academic program when have we even looked at any of the other facilities that do this type of work in? Because what happens is the entire summer where our kids want to play basketball or other sports, volleyball or different things, they're going to be deprived because there's no place to play. And so we take the entire recreation facility, it's called the Hammond Recreation Facility, but we're not going to use it for that purpose. We're going to turn it into some other type of program so that we can make a profit, and we charge, and it's a public facility, so all of our kids that should have access to the gym are going to be left out. And I just think the council should think about that. You know, time and time again, we have hundreds and hundreds of kids in the city of Hammond that live in poverty, and it's 95 degrees outside all summer long. I walk, and I'm going to take the time on this, Mr. President, because I think it's important. And this is not about politics. This is about facts. We have so many poor kids that live in the city of Hammond. And the question comes up, the question is, we don't want these kids running around our gym. So we're going to put this program in place so that we can control them and keep them out. And then the parents who can't afford to have their kids in there, they will not have access to recreation in the gym. And furthermore, there's no transportation to get them there. So if you're in Lincoln Park, like Winnie just said a few seconds ago, if you're living in Lincoln Park and you're making $12,000 a year, you don't have $25 a week to put your kid in the gym. So you're going to be left out. And there's too many of those children that are going to be left behind while we're making profit. We can move this same program to another facility like Hammond Junior High, which is probably going to be available. Put the program there, and then let's have the recreation center open for recreation for our kids to have a chance to play. I just struggle with the whole concept. I think we're making a quick decision. Mr. Mayor, I'll say it again. I called you. I sent you an email today. You emailed Dr. Fischetti 15 times today because I saw your email. You never responded back to me one time. And I asked you, I said, let's talk about this I'll take my lunch break and we can talk about this so that we can really get this thing resolved. And you refused to take my call. And then you asked me to come in a meeting and make a quick decision within 5 minutes for the future of all of our kids. And our kids continue to struggle in Hammond, guys, if y'all don't know. 42% of the kids that live in Hammond live in poverty. 42%. That's a lot of kids. Those kids will not be in that gym. I can guarantee you that. They will not have access and they will not have money, and we should be ashamed of ourselves if we continue to block our kids out of a facility that's built for them to use.
Councilman, at this
I'm
point,
done.
if you have
I'm done.
If you would like to make a motion to table that item, if you want to wait, that's your prerogative to do whatever you so choose.
Can I really think the transportation part?
We would like to respond to some of the statements that were made today because we do not believe some of those statements are accurate. So
And I want a chance to a rebuttal if he responds, Mr. President. Can I get it? And I want to have a chance to respond back.
First of all, I'm Darrell Smith, Recreation Supervisor. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Monroe Jones, who could not be here tonight. He has a revival at his church. And this issue with Mr. Monroe having concerns about this program came up this morning. He has assured me and wanted me to assure the council that he is 100% behind this program, and I want to reference an email that he sent to the mayor and also to each one of you today. I truly believe this is a great program for our children and the community. At no time did I ever say to Councilman Marshall I didn't support this program. In fact, I believe this program will give our young people a positive outlet that will increase their academic potential as well as encourage them to be involved in recreation activities that promote and stimulate their creativity and physical fitness. In the future, I hope that I am quoted correctly. That's from Mr. Jones. Also,
let me make a comment on that.
No, let him finish. Let him finish.
I will make a comment on that.
Also, Councilman Marshall has brought to the fact that nobody will be allowed to be in the gym. These young ladies that are doing this summer camp are using one of our gyms. We have two. That's the first point. Second point, his concern about people having access to the gym kind of is overshadowed by the fact that he's the one who brought up wanting a skills camp every afternoon to tie the gym up when we normally would have free play. So if your concern is for the kids to get in there and play, why are we having a skills camp, which you promoted, to tie up our gym also? So I think that kind of cuts both ways there. But we do have two gyms, and I understand that you want other people to get into this program. Last year, we basically had a babysitting service as a camp. The kids came in, they played games all day, they did nothing else but play games. Mr. Jones told me going into this season that he did not want to have that kind of camp here. So we were approached by Ms. Simmons. She brought this to our attention. It is an educational / fitness. They are going to get fun as well as prepare themselves for next year's school year. This is a program that's going to keep these kids from who forget May 24th when they get out of school to the time they start back, they lose a lot. The first month and a half, according to teachers, they have to basically do a recoup of what they had from last year. Their job is to try to keep their minds straight on what they've learned and get them ready for the next school year, as well as give them recreation. We totally support this program.
Okay.
Let me make a couple of comments on that. Yeah, so first of all, it shows you how the process works. So on my way to work, and I'll be direct about it, because I'm gonna be transparent. On my way to work this morning, because I emailed the mayor about 6:55 this morning, is the request that we meet, and the mayor typically responds back on emails and didn't respond back. So on my way to work, I called Monroe and I said, hey, help me understand, how do you feel about the program? And that's when Monroe and I talked about the program. So I sent a text message to a couple of councilmen because I know we can't talk as a group. And so from there, obviously it led to a conversation with Monroe, and Monroe was probably required to write some type of a statement. So that's how that works. I don't know how that works because that's the problem we have in our city. We can't be open and honest because everyone tries to control what happens in all aspects, and we have to stop that because we have a responsibility as a council to hold our administration accountable to doing things. And I'm talking, I didn't interrupt him. I didn't interrupt him.
And I absolutely
I'm not going to finish. I'm going to finish my comment.
Let me
I have
say
before,
this.
and I want to make my comment.
You wanted to, as a council, make a statement.
I'm going to make my statement.
At that point, I asked you, you have the opportunity to make the table the item.
No, I'm going to finish up the comments that Darryl responded to me on. So the next thing, so I made the comment on that. So the thing about the skill camp for the audience in here is going to be from 5 until 7 o'clock. So it comes in the evening time after any daytime would be available, and it's specifically designed for kids who want to play basketball. We did that last year, and it was after the kids camp, and we did the same thing again this year. Last year, the kid camps cost, I think, $115, which I thought we talked about that last year, and why were we using a public facility, to provide this? I really think it boils down to we need to really think about how we're using public facilities for private ventures. I have a hard time thinking that someone's going to spend their entire summer volunteering and not wanting to make a profit. Because April, when you and I talked in my office a couple of weeks ago, we brought it up. Well, are you going to make a profit? And I think you said, absolutely, we want to make a profit. And let me finish. I'm not finished. So when you look at the fact that you're talking about a small number of dollars, I just don't see where we have a solid enough program or plan in place where we're going to be able to do what we say we're going to do. Then you have the issue. Then you have the issue with the core curriculum and what we're doing in our schools. We're bringing in kids from, according to what I read, from 5 years old all the way up to 14. We have 2 big rooms. I mean, how are we going to divide all these kids and keep them separated and do all the things that we have to do to make sure that those kids are safe? And where's all that going to come from? Where is the plan on all that? I would like to see all of that before I would say that this is something I want to sign off on, because we are often going to be responsible if we say yes to the program that we're going to put in place. And I struggle with the fact that we haven't done due diligence yet. And I have some other comments that I got from some other people who may want to say something about why this is not fully thought out.
And I can address that.
Ma'am, this is what I want to do at this point. I want to move on with the program. What is the pleasure of the council on item 3?
I would first like to respond to Councilman Marshall. He did text me. He's correct. The last line of his text says you can call the director if you'd like. That's what I did. Right. Before I did that, I set up a meeting with Mason, and before I met, I can't control that. But before I met with the mayor, I called the director. He told me he had no problems with the program. So the mayor, I don't think your statement saying that he was forced to write a statement, I don't think that's accurate.
I never said he was forced to write a statement.
Yes, you did. What is the pleasure of the council?
For the sake of the fact that we still have a lot of unanswered questions, you look at the budget, Mr. President. You look at the budget that we're talking about. We're looking at for 100 kids. 100 kids in a facility from.
Mr. Marshall, I don't. No.
I'm going to make my motion. I'm going to make a motion.
Just make the motion.
I'm recapping, if you will, if you don't mind.
No, I don't want to recap. Okay, I'm going to motion, or I don't want to motion.
My motion is that we reconsider based on these things. Based on the fact that we table the motion based on these things. based on the fact that we have a facility, we're going to be requiring, allowing kids from 5 years old to 14 years old to be in the facility, where we probably don't have proper control of those kids. We have a budget plan that doesn't even meet the budget at 100 kids. We're using public funds of $7,500, and there's no vetting process at all. We haven't looked at any other organizations at all that might be able to do this and even advertise it. And that we're going to be potentially not allowing kids who need it the most to not even have access to the facility, to be even in the program. And that's my motion to table.
Okay. We have a motion to table item 3.
I'll second.
We have a second from Councilman Willie. Vote, please.
Johnny Blunt.
No.
Jason Hood.
No.
Bobby Martin.
No.
Lamar Marshall.
Yes.
Mike Williams.
No.
Motion carried.
Motion denied.
Denied.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve item 3?
Motion to approve.
I second it.
Vote, please.
Johnny Blunt.
Aye.
Jason Hood.
Aye.
Bobby Martin.
Aye.
Lamar Marshall.
No.
Mike Williams. Motion carried, approved.
Item number 4, a resolution to review and approve the insurance coverage and premiums for the City of Hammond for the year May 1st, 2013 through April 30th, 2014. Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele, let's get out of it.
Okay, all right. Mr. President, thank you. Mayor, council. You should have an email with all of this information. The package policy, which of course includes the auto physical damage, the general liability, the automobile liability, public officials, errors and omissions, employment practices liability, employment benefits liability, law enforcement liability, workers' compensation, the airport coverages, blanket bonds, supervisor's bonds, commercial property, and commercial equipment, boiler and machinery. It was put out on market to several different companies. Last year, we moved to One Beacon Insurance Company. There is a minor increase this year in that mostly driven by the property insurance for windstorm and the automobile liability. Other than that, the total annual premium $651,048.35. There should be a comparison there for you as well.
Yes, sir.
And I'll take any questions that you may
Do
have.
we have any questions? There is a slight increase, as you all can see. Okay. What's the motion? What's the pleasure of the council?
Motion to approve.
Johnny Blunt. Jason Hood.
Aye.
Bobby Martin.
Aye.
Lamar Marshall.
Aye.
Mike Williams. Motion carried, approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we have one other request that was put in at the last minute for a freshwater event for Earth Day on April 24th from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon, ladies.
Hi.
Hi. Tell us a little
Chairman,
bit
you may want
about
to
it
make
because this is
a
late.
motion to amend the agenda to add this item concerning
Yes.
Earth Day.
Yes, sir.
So moved. To amend.
To amend.
Second.
We can call for a vote, yeah.
Johnny Blunt.
Aye.
Jason Hood.
Aye.
Bobby Martin.
Aye.
Lamar Marshall. Mike Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried to amend.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. My name's Dane Gill. I'm the Associate Salon Coordinator at Paris Parker Salon downtown. Aveda is a huge supporter of Earth Month, both locally and internationally. I remember being a child that there was always Earth Month festivities going on downtown, and as I've gotten older, those have kind of ceased to exist. So we're really trying to partner with local merchants, both downtown and La Coretta, trying to bring this back. And so what we're asking for, it's basically we're having a freshwater fiesta. It's a complete nonprofit fundraiser that La Coretta has agreed to host for us from 5 to 10 on Wednesday the 24th. And our local initiatives for that fundraiser is the Gulf Restoration Network and the Lower Mississippi Riverkeeper, which both work diligently to improve water both in the Mississippi River and then around the Gulf. And that is a local project that will directly affect us. We do have one initiative that is overseas in Madagascar to provide water wells. So 100% of the profits that are brought in that night will be distributed among those fundraisers and among those charities. So what we're asking for is that night we could lift the open container law for the area around La Coretta, which would include, it would extend from the patio of La Coretta to the street closures, which includes West St. Charles from Northwest Railroad to the tracks in front of La Coretta, which is basically the corner right there. And then they're blocking off half of the parking mall for band setup and a stage. We will have 2 performers that night. And the reason that we are asking that is La Coretta has come up with a margarita for the night, and the proceeds of that, the sales of those drinks, is what our fundraising is going to be for that night, aside from other independent things. And we are having tables set up out on the street, 9 tables that seat 8. So we would need that law lifted from that time that night to be able to serve those guests.
Well, basically, all we need from us is a waiver of the open container law. Administratively, the other items can be handled.
Mr. President, we've already approved those.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we made a motion to amend the agenda that was approved. Do we have a motion to approve the waiver of the open container law?
So moved.
Okay. Give it to Councilman Blunt, second to Councilman
Johnny
Williams.
Blunt.
Aye.
Jason Hood.
Aye.
Bobby Martin. Lamar Marshall. Mike Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried, approved.
Thank you,
Okay,
gentlemen.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Introduction of ordinance and set public hearing. Introduction of an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2012-2013 budget. Mr. Francis is not with us, I guess. Mayor, I know you had given us, I don't know if the rest of the council has checked their mail, but we do have a breakdown of it. This is for the 5% fluctuation that's required by law.
That's correct. The majority of them, I think there is one other item that might not be. It's all on the beginning balances at the beginning of the fiscal year.
Yes, sir.
This is introduction only, and of course, we'll have a public hearing at the next meeting.
And like I said, I think there is a printout. I got mine out of my mailbox, so there should be.
Motion introduced.
Okay.
Second.
Vote, please.
Johnny Blunt.
Aye.
Jason Hood.
Aye.
Bobby Martin.
Aye.
Lamar Marshall.
Aye.
Mike Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried, approved.
Number 2, introduction of an ordinance to adopt a unified development code and to repeal all ordinances in conflict therewith.
This is the code we've been working on, and it's we're simply asking you to defer it to the Planning Commission and allow them to take as much time as they need to review it and pick it apart, and if they see necessary changes to make them. And then once they're finished with it, whether it be 3 months, 4 months, however long it takes them to get it done, to come back with a recommendation after they've gone through it.
Motion to introduce.
Second.
Vote, please.
Johnny Blunt.
Aye.
Jason Hood.
Aye.
Bobby Martin.
Aye.
Lamar Marshall.
Aye.
Mike Williams.
Aye.
Motion carried, approved. Public hearing will be held May 7th.
Actually, the public hearing on that item is going to be after the
Correct.
planning and zoning makes its
Oh, okay.
recommendation.
Yes.
The first item, it will be May 7th.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, before we adjourn, they got a little experience tonight. Yes, sir.
April, I want to applaud you for what you're trying to do. I just walked out and talked to Mr. Steele, and I know you're going to raise some money with some fundraisers. I asked him as a private business owner, and I'm sure we have some other people here that might help. Mike's a private business owner. He'll match me $500, so we just raised you $1,000 for your program. Between he and
I will provide a fee for one student, so $150.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, great. We want to take a minute, since y'all got a little lesson, and see how it really goes, to honor the St. Thomas Aquinas 2012-2013 girls basketball team. The mayor has something to give you. So what I'll do is I'll call you up, and then we'll get a big picture and all that good jazz. How's that sound, Mayor? That sounds good. Sure. All right. All right. Amber Donez.
We've kind of gotten...
Did we lose Amber?
Wait, hold on 1 second.
Oh, there you go.
Just a little bit more slowly.
Okay.
Come on, Counselor. What we're doing tonight is we're honoring this team. You know, many of us did follow you through the process, and to say that we're proud, I think, is an understatement. So tonight, what we want to do, and I'm going to let the president of the council do this, we want to present each one of you tonight a key to the city. Now, when the boys won, they got the same thing. And let me tell you, this is several things. Number one, it is a lapel pin. Very similar to the one I have on now. I think it's the exact same thing. A writing pen to keep you so active in your schoolwork. We heard a lot about education tonight. We know that you're going to have a lot of tests and so forth. But most of all, a key to the city, which is all of us indicate that the key to the city is the key to the hearts of so many people that are so very proud of each and every one of you. So we say, thank you for your hard work and dedication. Go Falcons! There you go. Thank you. Courtney Dawson.
You have some people not here today.
Okay. Portia Walker. Okay. Reagan Bolton. Meg Campbell, I know I saw Campbell here. Thank you. Congratulations. Good job. All right. Jada Richard. Okay. Allie Blair. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you got it.
I got close.
Yes, sir.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Seal. Come on, Seal. Allie Seal. This girl. All right, there, wild one. Carly Keller. White pants, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Abby Goday. Did I say that right? All right. Congratulations. Thank you. Oh, Aspen? No Aspen? Huh? Only one left?
Yes.
Oh, Schaefer, come on. I'm going to go down the line. Thank you, man. Congratulations. Okay, yeah. Coach John White and assistant coach Melanie Kramer. Okay. Congratulations. Congratulations. Good job. All right. We're going to get a big picture. True.